Supernova here today to do Bleach. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Bleach! What is it, guys? Supernova here today to do Bleach. Nova here today to do Bleach. Nova here to do Bleach. Nova here today to do a live reaction and review of Bleach.
And now, our feature presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is up? Bioshocks here today to bring you a review of Bleach special chapter, or as it's on the website I read it at, it was like they counted it as 687. So you can either take it as Bleach special chapter, Bleach one-shot chapter, or Bleach chapter 687. Take it as you will. This is a review of Bleach. I'm excited. This chapter, 70 pages.
My God.
70 pages of a revitalized Kubo, of a inspired Kubo, of a Kubo that is ready, that is determined, and is on top of his game. So this chapter, the first page is a cover page, which is of the Ichigo you see right here, which is, it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful cover page. All the captains, Ichigo, it's awesome. And Renji's there too.
Put some respect on my name. You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
So we're first introduced to, it's pretty much Kazui. I'm assuming this is Kazui speaking to, talking about two fish. One died. He felt sad for the other one, and the other one ended up getting bigger and bigger than the old one, and he said, and it ends up him saying it was good that the other fish died. Whereas the next scene is this giant fish just flying through the sky. We don't know much about this. We don't know much at all. It's just a fish flying through the sky of Karakura Town. I'm assuming this is the fish that was spoken about in the first page. The next scene we are caught up to is Kazui asleep, or seemingly to be asleep. Orihime sticking her head in. Kon has been watching Kazui for a while to make sure he doesn't sneak out of his room again. Apparently he's been doing this for a while. The minute she leaves, Kazui wakes up, he goes out the window. Kon goes with him while scolding him. And we see at this point, Kazui, as he jumps out the window, unlike Ichigo where he needs something to become a Shinigami, Kazui, just on demand, can be a Shinigami. It's like this comes out from his body, and his Shihakusha, like, pretty much comes out of nowhere. We don't know much about the expectations of why it's like that. We just know that he does not need he doesn't need like something like Kon or anything to push his soul out of his body. He just becomes a Shinigami at will. But he jumps on this fish, so that's why I'm assuming in the beginning pages, this is Kazui speaking. And apparently this is not the first time he's been riding this fish. We then get Kazui, he comes with his soul, who is lonely, to pretty much come play with him. I don't really think I need to go in detail much about this soul, because I don't think we'll get much acquainted with him. He's a plot device there to show Kazui what he's like as a Shinigami, how he's kind of souls, how he doesn't want to be lonely. But he then takes him to this place in this park so he doesn't alone, and he creates this thing, like 3 claps, and like bunch of these eyeballs appear. And he does this whole thing where he claps, and then it's this portal with teeth opens up. And he takes the soul through here. He says everyone's there. Now, this portal, listen, I'm not going to say this. Because I know from the next scene we get from there is the Soul Society. I don't think it's a Soul Society. This portal is nothing we've ever seen that goes to Soul Society. We've seen, like, the gates from Bleach, where Byakuya and them go through. It's not like they don't have to go through the Dangai. They need a Hell Butterfly, which is very important later on. This is me just speculating. I think this is a portal to hell. Somehow that Kazui can open up.
Oh, whoa.
We're then taken to the Soul Society where Ikkaku is essentially training Ichika. We get a pretty nice dynamic between them. It's pretty funny for the most part. Ikkaku's a master to her. We get a brief snippet from Yumi Chika. Looking a little different at first. I thought it was a woman at first. Because he's so beautiful, I guess.
Gay!
Yumi Chika pretty much is there to transition over to Renji, who apparently not everyone in the Soul Society has these smartphones, and they can FaceTime Ichigo. Apparently they have service in the Soul Society. And then we get a picture of Ichigo, definitely much older. He's around 29, 30 years old. They're at Keigo's ramen shop because he doesn't get customers, and we get a couple comedy briefs there. But he's FaceTiming Ichigo. He's telling Ichigo about this ritual they have for captains, where they kill hollows in front of the grave of the captain so they can pass on. Renji intentionally tells Ichigo he should attend too, even though for some reason at these captain funerals only captains can show up, whereas the vice captains go and get the hollow. Very odd, not sure why it's the way it is. They might delve into it later on for this arc if it continues, which I'm sure it will. But he says Ichigo should up because he was so close to Ukitake, but yeah, he was closer to Ukitake in comparison to those 3, but him and Ukitake didn't have that many interactions. But, he's somewhat close to Ukitake. And then Rukia shows up wearing a ponytail.
Nice.
New look, Rukia. I like it. It's cool. And then we have the introduction of Mayuri Kurosuchi. Yes, one of my favorite captains in the series. New look, everything different. Not my most favorite look of him, to be honest. I definitely liked the Arrancar arc one better, followed up by the Thousand Year Blood War R look, which is, those are the top tier looks. This look, not so much. Trash. Kind of looking like a bug. Kind of looking weird. But that could correspond to, you know, the bugs he has floating around that can, like, project this image of him where you can hear everything. So that's probably maybe why the look's the way it is. And then we have Ichika coming back home. She's over here in Renji and Mayuri talking about going and get the hollow. Then we go through all the barracks and their vice captains getting ready to go get the hollow. And then we are introduced to the 7th Division, the new vice captain, Atao. Or I think it's Atao or something like that. But he's deaf. And I'll get onto this guy later on, but so far I like the look of him. He's very interesting. So then fast forward we go back to Lord of the Living. Renji and them have caught back up with Ichigo. Ichigo's look is a lot different. Ichigo is back in his OG look. Like, not OG like first getting Rukia's powers OG, but like obtaining his own. You know, where he has the red beady chain across his thing, and his Zanpakuto toe looks normal too. So Ichigo's sporting his original look. I don't know if that's intended. Maybe just Kubo likes that look better. I'm not complaining because that's my personal favorite Ichigo look too. It's just the question of his Zanpakuto toe. Because in Thousand Year Blood War arc, when he got his actual Zanpakuto toe, he had dual wields. And his Bankai was his original Shikai look. Don't know much about that, don't know why. We might get another explanation into it, but look-wise, I'm happy it's back. I like that look a lot better. We do find out Ichigo's profession, he's a translator, which is very interesting. Really realistic, actually, too. I actually like it a lot. We are then also introduced to a new character, the Vice Captain of the 8th Division, Yayahara Yuyu. I don't know whose child this is. I have heard speculation, and this is probably probable, but I've heard speculation that this is Urahara and Yoruichi's child. I've never felt like Yoruichi and Urahara had a romantic connection within the original series. This is probably probable, given her name, her appearance, and her features. Darker skin with blonde hair, it seems.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
But her get-up's very odd. Renji even mentioned she's influenced by, like, Garu in the World of Living, which is stuff in Japan, which is inspired by stuff like Baywatch, all that kind of stuff, like the Gao type of thing. So she's made her Shinigami Shihakusho look very interesting.
Stop it. Get some help.
And then we get Ichigo, who is also, she has snuck her way into the World of Living. But and then she sees what appears, it doesn't look like a hollow. It looks like something that would come from hell. It's this giant skeleton thing with long arms, 2 circles on the sides. It's like, it's in between all the vice captains Ichigo. Like, they all got their back turned towards it. So they can't see it, and apparently they can't sense it either, which will be later on. Ichika sees it, she yells at Renji. Renji gets attacked, sent flying. It goes to attack again, Ichigo cleaves it. We're then shown multiple other ones behind Hisagi and Omaida, and these things are ghoulish. They're really well done, honestly. They're not exactly hollows, it looks like. Ikaku makes short work of one. And then we got Atao. This is where I was going to say why I didn't say nothing earlier. Atao, instead of calling for his Zanpakuto's release date, instead of calling out the name, he writes it on his Zanpakuto. And that's really cool. That's a really, really interesting way of doing it. It looks like they're like paper things, and he says Taka, which is Hawk, and they turn into hawks. So he's like Sai and like Conan combined, but just cooler, and looks like he has more depth. And these things attack this ghoul, and it looks like they look like, I don't know if they eat it or they run through it, but it leaves nothing but a skeleton. So I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it looks devastating. We then have the Yuyuhara girl, jumping up, breaking the spine of one, jumps up, and she uses like this bear claw thing. She does that, and this bear comes between it and like decapitates one like cleanly, which I think that's a lot of people have assumed that she's probably Urahara and Yoruichi's child, because it doesn't appear she has a Zanpakuto at all. And she uses a lot of like physical martial artist techniques. And then we gotta think of Tetsu Zaimon, which, dude, yes, I love him. The Vice Captain of 12th Division. He doesn't really, I don't think it's a Zanpakuto, but it looks like he uses some sort of chemical. The ghoul steps in it and instantly like disintegrates, so that's pretty cool. He says a lot of numbers like 3, 3, 4, 4 and all stuff, and he says like Ron, which means melt. It has to be a Zanpakuto, because he says a Shikai, he calls upon a Shikai, so I'm guessing that's what it is. We don't get to see a Zanpakuto. Maybe the liquid itself is his Shikai, not entirely sure, but he does say Ron, which means melt, so it has to be something to correspond with the Shikai. Izuru Kira comes back, and it looks like he's been patrolling Arakura town.
We don't care.
And then we are transitioned to Chains attacking Renji. These are obviously Chains from Hell, as from the movie, obviously, and then we get the greatest introduction of this chapter. Reintroduction. This black mass forms in front of Renji, says his name, and it's none other than Saizoro Paro Grans. And I can't believe, yes! Yes! Because there are like novels of Zaizo being in hell. He comes up, he looks cool, and it's so cool. He's wondering where Uryu and Mayuri's at. He says he has fallen to hell. He explains that the circles that's on the outside of these ghouls is the old hollow hole, which used to be inside of them. And obviously he looks happy because if you don't know, Zaizo hollow hole was in his penis.
Hell no, to the no, no, no.
I would be happy to, 120% yes. Zaizo pretty much tells Renji he's going to kill his daughter by continuously asking him, what's that behind you, what's behind you. He's playing games with Renji at this point. We have Renji running away with Ichigo, but he's caught by the chains, and they are also blasted away by Ichigo. So we pretty much have a confrontation between Ichigo and Zaizo grants. Zaizo even says, killing you wouldn't merit much after all this time. Ichigo saying, like, who are you? Like, so, because Ichigo and Zaizo they never met. It makes sense why they wouldn't know each other, and that's just a pretty funny spot. Then next we have a bunch of like, they're at their funeral thing, waiting for like the hollow, having the funeral for Ukitake, and like all these splotches come out of nowhere, and I don't know, like little black splotches kinda. So everyone touches it and she's like, it's not a Reishi that would return to the atmosphere. So Ukitake takes his blade, touches it, and it's sizzling on his blade, and he does say it's a will-o-wisp. And it's from hell. Captures all the captains by shock. Everyone's like in awe. And this is where it gets more interesting because Shusui Kyoraku tells them this superstition. He says it's been spoken for a long time, and this is where we're introduced to a word called Rei, which means spiritual authority. And this is it. I'm guessing it's going to be a new type of some sort of power system. It was used to represent the amount of Ryotsu that's inside of Reishi. That the average division member has like a grade 20. Vice captains are usually between 5 and 4, and captains are either 3 or higher. Then he also explains when a Soul Reaper dies, their body turns into Reishi and returns to the earth of the Soul Society, which is the forest and all that stuff. But the people that are classified 3 and higher can't because it's the concentration's so high. And what allows them to return is this Soul Funeral Festival. He then continues on to say what the superstition is. The superstition, and it's in quotations from Kyoraku, Reishi of grade 3 and higher can't return to the earth no matter what.
Impossible.
He continues on with the superstition that with this ritual that deceased captains are, and then he's cut off, and in the next scene we get Zaizo saying sent down to hell.
Hey yo, what the?
Now this can be interpreted in many ways. Where Kyoraku is cut off, he doesn't finish sentence, but we are led to assume that it's finished by Zaizo Grants, which
really makes you think.
We don't know for sure what Kyoraku said. He could have said they weren't sent down to hell and just Zaizo finished it, but also Zaizo could be saying what he thinks happens or what he's told has happened. Now, there's a lot of things we take from this. One, Kyoraku thinks it's superstition and that's what he's told. Two, Zaizo actually is in hell. So this man has first-hand knowledge about what's there, what's going on. So do we take Zaizo words for true?
No.
Probably not, because it's Zaizo Grants. But we're conflicted here with 2 different outcomes. We don't know what Kyoraku is going to say, and we have probably what Zaizo is saying, probably to mess with Ichigo and everyone else, but we're not entirely sure. And once again, we return back to Zaizo. He says balance has been broken, and then we get this spill from him that the amount of Ryotsu that was keeping the mouth of hell in check, Aizen's disappearance, which is honestly where he's in the chair, he's been concealed, and then Yuhawk vanishing, which I think it means he's dead. I would not believe Yuhawk would come back at all. He then continues, they sent so many high Ryotsus down to hell, one after another, it left the mouth to be forced open from hell's side, so everything spews out from there. There has to be a balance. And right before he's about to finish, where he says, Yamamoto, Unohana, and then he goes to speak Ukitake, and we see a sword pierce Zaizo Grants, and it's huge. And it's followed up by Zaizo saying, you've made an early arrival.
What?
And you hear from the door, which is opened up behind him with this giant sword coming through it that says Divine Vow, followed up by Zaizo saying, Ukitake Jushido. There could be a certain point to this, because the Zanpakuto that is protruding from the door attacking Zaizo, it's literally Ukitake Shikai, 100%. It's literally it. You can't say it's not. Because after this, he says, you guys just slaughtered those ghouls from hell, right in front of Jushido. Does it happen because they slay a ghoul? Is this why you need a hollow? Because ghouls are not exactly hollows, they're warped from. And then he follows it up before he leaves with, hell has always been nearby. He goes, have you ever wondered why the butterflies that guide Soul Reapers have hell in their name, which is the Hell Butterflies? which is pretty cool. It brings up an old aspect from Bleach, which really wasn't touched up upon much after the early parts of it with the Hell Butterflies. You know, the Hell Butterfly was with Rukia, it was with Yaki and them when they went through the Saikaimon. I know they're used to guide Soul Reapers and others from the world living to the Soul Society without using the Dangai. So, but then the gates of hell close, and that's honestly the chapter. We're learning a lot of things about the Soul Society, about hell itself, about the hollows that are turned into ghouls. Are they a different entity at this point? Is that why Ukitaki's probably in hell? Overall though, the chapter, the pacing was very good. The art was very, very good. Kubo is back in stride once again. So the overall rating of this special chapter, I would give this special chapter a rating of, it's an A+. It is a phenomenal chapter, and I'm not just saying that because of nostalgia. Overall, this was a phenomenal chapter. It was amazing. I'm done. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. As always, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos, and to also become a notification squad. But I'll see you guys and gals in the next one. Have a nice day.